This leads me nicely to Severance, because I'm lucky enough to be friends with and encounter people all the time, especially in the comedy world and acting world. And so I kind of semi-know Adam Scott. And my wife and I watch Severance when it comes out. And shortly after that, I see Adam Scott, and I said, that was the best thing that's been on television in memory. That was fantastic. And he was like, oh, thanks a lot, man. And I was like, no. And I think I put my hand on his chest.
Oh,
like, no.
Jesus.
You don't understand. Like,
Why?
I know there's a show business thing. Well, I wanted, have you felt his chest? Adam Scott's chest?
I have not.
Well,
no.
you haven't lived then.
Okay.
No, but the way there's a show business thing of, hey man, I saw your thing. It was really good. And it's you'll say it about me at some point, but
oh, God. That's so sad.
But it'll come out naturally, or we'll edit it in.
And I'll touch your chest.
But it was very important to me to let him know, no, I'm not doing that thing.
Right.
I'm doing this other thing where, and he was, appreciative, I think, and then just wanted to get away. But the quality of the storytelling, the intricacy of it, the respect it has for the audience, it's so smart, and there's so many layers to it that I've gone into deep dives where people discuss, just various levels of it, and it all holds up, because when you put that much thought into something, it's really beautiful when people appreciate it and see it, and start to go like, oh, wait a minute, what do you think's going on? And the whole concept of Severance is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Yeah, that's great to hear, in that the trust you can have for the audience, which you have to sort of like take a sort of runner on and kind of, just go, okay, I'm going to believe that they're going to get this. But, you never go bad when you don't underestimate the audience.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because people are smart, and especially now, people watch television so closely, and they appreciate it so much, and they look forward to it. And so that's a great thing to know, that people will pick up these little things. But we made the show in a bubble during COVID, with you make the whole series and then you put it out. So there's no feedback.
You don't know. You've basically built this giant contraption, and you put it out there, and you don't know, is it going to work?
Yeah.
What if people watch the first episode and say, I don't care?
Right. It's not like the opposite of doing like a late night show or something, where, right, you're getting feedback every day.
Every second. Yeah.
Right. And so it was a great experience making it. And then near the end, I was like, oh, I hope people get it. I hope they like it. We've been working on this thing for a couple of years. Like, this could be either good, or it could just be like, maybe nobody's going to even see it. And
well, the reaction was
it was great.
Insane.
Yeah, it was great. It's as great as anything I've been a part of. And, being in the business so long, like, you never know how people are going to react to stuff. And when it's great, it's so great, and when it's not great, it sucks. But but it's not that different, the experience of whatever you make. It was something that gets well received or not. You're still putting your all into it.
Well, I've always said it takes a lot of talented people working really hard to make something shitty. Yeah. Meaning, when you see something and everyone sits around and hate watches it or says this is bad, that was a lot of oftentimes very talented people working really hard, and it just didn't come out quite the way they wanted it to, or it came out at the wrong time, or
whatever it is.
Whatever it was. And then those same people can work on something, and it can be absolutely amazing.
And you're all in on it the whole time.
Yeah.
So you can't go back. And it's just sort of like, okay, so this is it.
There are these moments I talked to you earlier about. There are always these moments in your work where I remember them. There's so many moments in the first season of Severance. First of all, the look of it. And there are moments where I think you as a director, the use of corridors and ceilings, like when I watch this show, I feel like I'm down underground and I'm in that place, and it's a very specific, the lighting, the look of it, the vibe. You've got these great wide, like flat shots sometimes, and it does feel a little bit like Kubrick or something. It's just like all the references are absolutely incredible and bears rewatching. Like, you can rewatch it over and over and over again. It's really hypnotic. Great. But there's a moment with the actor, he plays Lance. Is it Tremel Tillman?
Yeah.
There's a moment, I'm not giving anything away, where he goes into a dance. in this first season, and it's my favorite moment in television of that year because it's not part of his character, but then he goes into this kind of dance and the way you shoot it, and I think I've watched it like 20 times. I don't know this gentleman. I please tell him I'm his biggest fan. But that was my favorite moment. It was so... It came at me in such a weird way from the side. You know what I mean? It came through my peripheral vision, and it was so fantastic. And the way it was scored, the music, and the tension building while he's doing this kind of what's supposed to be a joyous thing. It was, it's sort of David Lynch. It's everything. It's like 15 different
it was
flavors.
A confluence of events that came together. I didn't even know he was going to dance like that. It's dancing.
Dancing is fantastic.
It's the same thing Tom Cruise dancing. Like, I didn't know Tom Cruise was going to dance like that.
Did this guy have in his contract, though?
No, but that was also, one of those things where it was just like, I felt the same way watching it. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I love watching this. I could watch it over and over again. And I think as a director, you kind of, it's not like you want to like say, oh, my work is great. It's like you're almost like an audience. Mm-hmm. You have to act as an audience, and you're the sort of like, you have to make the choices based on being an audience that you're projecting would be watching something.
Yeah.
So I loved it too. I was like, I love watching. I was like, oh, this is really fun. I could watch this all day.
At the heart of this show is this concept. And again, this isn't giving anything away because anyone who's listening to this, and you need to watch this show, but you also, if you haven't seen the first season, watch that. And the concept is people working at this company, and to go into this company, they descend and they're disassociated from their previous life. Yeah. So their work life and the person who's up above ground, they're the same person, but...
Yeah, there's just a chip that's inserted into their head, and it gets triggered when they go in the elevator down to work that they don't remember who they are upstairs.
Yeah.
And they just know their reality at work. And then when they leave, the chip gets triggered again, and they don't remember what happened to work.
And you see there's a subtle thing you do with the lens when Adam Scott's going down the elevator, and... I don't know what it is. I don't technically understand it, but something happens where you can see the focal point kind of change just a little bit, enough to know that they've gone through a transformation. So everyone's severed from what's happening to them in the top of the world. And there are so many analogies to that, which is why would these people choose to do that? And one of the things, and I might be fishing here, but it very much felt to me like, there's so many things it's analogous to, but one of them is... like alcohol or drugs, people that something happened in their life, they want to disassociate from it. And anyone who's had issues with drugs or alcohol knows that there's a reason you're doing that. You want to be somebody else because being who you are and feeling that's too painful. And it's just really, there's like 35 different scholars could talk about all the different things that are brought up in one way or another in Severance.
And it's all Dan Erickson, the creator, the writer, who's the first script that he had produced. It was a spec script he had sent around. And Jackie Cohn at our company, Red Hour, read it and thought it was good. And I read it.
That's a spec script?
That was a spec script, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's good to know, right? For aspiring writers. And he had this amazing idea and this amazing facility in terms of how, the tone of his writing. But I agree with you. There's that analogy. Just the idea for me also of these people are like coming into work and doing their thing and having their banter and kind of, it's very like kind of, like an office comedy kind of vibe, but they don't know who they are. They don't know why they're there, and they don't know what they're doing. To me, that's like the life analogy.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we're all here, and we get settled in and we figure out how to get through and do it, but like we don't ultimately know what it's all about. So I thought that was what was always resonated
and the work they're doing is so, it's really funny. The work they're doing on their computer screens is hilariously, it is analogous to how a lot of people feel about their jobs.
Yeah.
I'm here moving these numbers around,
kind of widgets.
I don't, and it doesn't make sense when I watch it. It doesn't make sense. But when someone does it, they're like, "Good for you, you did it." And I think many Americans watching it would say, "No, that's what it feels like at work."
Yeah.
My daughter was role playing going to work the other day. I said, "What do you do for work?" And she goes, "I push buttons."
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. She's gonna go far, that kid.
Well, Dan worked at a door factory when he came out to LA, and that was where he got the idea because he was just going crazy every day working at the store factory, and he wanted to forget about it.
It is a great message for people that, there are a lot of people that say, oh, it's all who you know. And it's like, no, if you have a really good story to tell and a great idea and you write it, the truth does out. The cream does rise to the top. If you put something out there that's of real quality, it's going to bounce around and someone like you is going to find it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to get the access for people, to get that script in someone's hands. But I feel like in this business, everybody's always looking for that next thing, always looking for talent, looking for something that they're going to read and is going to excite them and feel new and different. And that's just always going to be.
Also, this cast you have. I mean, I mentioned Adam Scott and Britt Lauer is amazing and incredible in it. But also, you've got John Turturro. You've got Christopher Walken. I mean, you've got, and there's something really fascinating about this show, which is that people naturally, when they work together, want to create community. And there's something happening here at Lumen where they kind of really don't want people talking. They don't want people getting too close to each other.
Right.
And that's another mystery. And I think the reward of a show like this is that you get really smart fans online, and there are so many of them that are all arguing about what does this mean. And Eduardo, when I came in, Eduardo was Eduardo, you said,
don't fuck this.
Don't fuck this up. This is Severance, man. Don't fuck this up. And I'm like, well, Ben Stiller has been around a long time, and we could shoot the shit about a lot of things, and I do intend to spend half the time talking about Severance. You're like, you don't fuck it up.
By the way, Eduardo, I totally get it. I know Conan a long time.
He's seen me fuck up a lot of stuff. But I read an interview with Patricia Arquette, who's amazing in the show, and she has this quote about you as a director. It was just about your tenacity, how hard you work, how important it is to you that you get it right. It was really lovely.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Well, she's amazing. I mean, yeah, I think we're all going through life and I feel like a kinship, seriously, to you, Conan, because I know how hard you work and how much it means to you, but you're also trying to figure out the work-life balance, which is part of the show too. And that's important too. And I hope over the years, I don't know, last 20, 30 years that I've figured out that a little bit more because, you have to, there's a point where you work it, but then you also have to also then be able to step back and go, okay, I can only control so much.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I've heard tell you can only control so much.
Like I've learned the hard way,
Well, but I will say on a personal note, like when you walk in the door, you seem happy.
Yeah.
And I know that you're someone who, one of the, maybe the subtitle of this podcast could be, sometimes I want it to be careful who you envy. Like I want to talk to people and let everyone know everyone's got shit. Everyone has got things that they're dealing with. And predominantly I get to talk to people like yourself who are very talented and have done this amazing work. And you're trying to figure out most of the things that everyone else is trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And so when you walked in after all these years to see that you look great, you seem happy, this is incredible work you're doing. And I love that you're able to say to yourself, yeah, I can go back and be in something again. I think you're going to go back and maybe do a cameo in...
I'm doing Happy Gilmore. I've got this little movie I did with David Gordon Green called Nutcrackers. That's on Hulu. And we did super low budget and it was really fun. Yeah. I mean,
but you can dip into that when you want, but you can enjoy this and also enjoy your life.
Yes. Well, that's the big part of it. Enjoying your life. I mean, and that's
and you and I are talking about it as if we don't know what that is.
I know, exactly.
We've heard tell of this life thing. Exactly. My agent tells me my children are thriving.
You guys are severed.
Yeah, we are severed. We don't know what's happening. I think I'm told I have kids. I have to go up in the elevator and
it's your kids are older too. I mean, my daughter's 22, my son's 19, and they will tell you, they'll give you feedback on how you're doing, and I appreciate it. And we've actually, like working on the documentary, I interviewed both my kids and Christine, and we talked about stuff that's worked in our lives and stuff that hasn't worked in our lives, and my kids were very honest with me, about times when I put my work in front of the family.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful that I'm in a place now where I still have these relationships with them that we can work on and talk about that stuff and adjust because it's true, it's cliche, but it's true. But at the end of the day, that's what it's all really about. My joy comes from working and being creative, but sharing that with my family. And if you going home and not having anybody to share that with, I've had that because Christine and I were separated for a few years.
That's right.
And if that's the right thing for people, sometimes that's the right thing. But for me, being together with her and our family being together, I'm so much more appreciative of it. So I feel really grateful.
Well, I am delighted for you. I'm really delighted.
I figured it all out. I have no problems. And
why are you crying? You're crying as you say it, and it's tears of blood. It's just fucking weird. I've just figured it all out. Ben, just absolute joy to see you again. And
you too, man.
I'm so delighted for you. I really am. I'm genuinely, and I have a very just nice, funny little memory of I lived predominantly on the Upper West Side for years. All those years I was doing late night, and for some reason I would always run into your mom on the Upper West Side, and she was so lovely to me and such a real person on the Upper West Side.
Yes,
such an Upper West Side
and a fan of yours. She was
absolutely. We Catholics have to stick up for each other.
By the way, I just have to say also, there is one scene at the end of the last episode of season 2 of Severance that I'm really looking forward to you seeing.
Oh,
because I feel like you of all people.
I will text you.
Yeah, no, will appreciate this little scene.
Okay.
And it might even seem to others who watch it maybe weird or indulgent, but I feel like it's made for you.
If it's weird and indulgent, if it's weird and indulgent, I'm going to love it.
All right, good.
That's what you are, weird and indulgent.
Okay, I think I spelled it out enough. All right. Yeah. All right. Hey, Ben, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
And congrats on Severance.
Great to see you. Thanks, man.